Hi guys, welcome back. We're here to catch up on Flawless by Elsie Silver, and I'm using my new phone today, so I'm hoping the camera might be a little bit better quality. So yeah, hopefully you guys had a good weekend. Happy Monday. And we are going to start on page 196 at the top. I'm left in a deathly silent kitchen. All I can hear is the grandfather clock ticking from the living room, something that sounds ominous in the wake of that altercation. Without saying a word, I dump my coffee into the sink and place my mug in the dishwasher. The air is thick with tension, and I want to escape it, badly. I'm a people pleaser, and this is an unwinnable situation. I head toward the hallway, but stop when I hit the archway, grabbing it and tapping my fingers against it before I turn to face the two men in the kitchen. You know, it's not my place to say, but you should know that what Red is doing, he's doing for you, for this place. Cade's jaw pops as he holds my eyes with his, and it's in those eyes that I see a flash of confusion. I wasn't joking. You owe him an apology, a big one. I knock on the wall and give him a flat smile. Then I'm gone. Because while Rhett might not want to be near me right now, I'm finding I want nothing more than to be near him. I've stuck close to Rhett since we arrived in Blackwood Creek. He's been distant and, to be frank, a growly dick. But I don't let it get to me. I've come to know him well enough over the last several weeks to know he sometimes just needs to lick his wounds, to process. And I have no doubt that Cade embarrassed him this morning. He's currently seated on a stool at a desk in front of a rolling camera giving an interview, and doing an exceptional job of turning on the charm and leaning into his rural upbringing to unoffend his offended fans. You know, Sheila, having grown up on a cattle ranch, I know how hard our producers work to deliver a quality product to market. I've seen my dad work his fingers to the bone. He only stopped because of a workplace injury, and now my big brother spends his days running the place. It's my hope to do the same on the family farm at some point as well. She smiles at him, a little too appreciatively for my taste, and leans in toward him. That's commendable, Rhett. Your family must be very proud of you. His eyes dart to mine before he plasters a smile on his too handsome face. We're a tight-knit group. My stomach sinks for him. He's so much harder on himself than anyone realizes. He does this showmanship thing so well and has everyone around him convinced he's much happier than he actually is. Much healthier, too. Because I don't miss the way he winces as he unfolds himself from the stool. He's so sore, and all the therapy and exercise and stretching we've been doing can't hide that. His body is compensating for untreated injuries, and it's killing me not to tie him down and force him to get properly patched up. But I also understand needing to do something to prove to yourself that you can, to do something that will be good for everyone around you. So, I bite the insides of my cheeks anytime I have the desire to tell him what. Just me being here is probably grating enough. I don't need to push my luck. When he finally approaches me, he holds an arm out, gesturing towards the stairs out of the media room. As I move ahead of him, I glance over my shoulder, only to bust him staring at my ass. I bought myself a pair of light wash Wranglers this morning from one of the vendors on site and, clearly, Red approves. They aren't the beautiful custom chaps I was eyeing at the last event, but at least I stick out less like a sore thumb in these jeans than my new WBRF tee, which is printed with a longhorn skull. Plus, paired with the lacy bright red underwear I've got on underneath them and my snakeskin boots, I feel like some sort of Western chic bombshell. You did good, I say, forcing his eyes to snap up to mine. A blush creeps over my cheeks and I drop his gaze when I add, I'm proud of you. Rhett's gloved hand rubs over the rope methodically, his jaw tight, his face focused. Last time, watching him get ready to ride excited me, riveted me. But today, I'm antsy. I'm not sure what's changed in the past few weeks. All I know is that watching him climb up onto a bull feels different tonight. It feels like my heart is pounding so hard that it's drilled its way right down into my stomach. My entire torso now thrums with the rush of adrenaline. I know he knows what he's doing. I know he's one of the best, but when he nods his head, I think I might be sick. The gates clink open and the black bull charges out, head down, hooves up, shaking Rhett all over the place. The crowd cheers this time, but I dig my elbows into my knees and clasp my hands over my mouth, feeling uncomfortably hot all over. He's a sight to behold, the way he moves, the stillness in his body, his arm held up high. When the bull turns, his body softens and goes with him, everything in sync, like the bull's rage is balanced by the look of peace on Rhett's face. Yin and yang somehow. Not every cowboy who steps in this ring has it. The serenity, the magic as the bull whips around violently. Rhett has something intangible that makes him just a cut above the rest. It's plain as day for me to see. I wonder if everyone else here sees it too. When the buzzer sounds, I flop back in my seat and rub at my sternum, hoping the ball of tension coiled there will unwind. It's not until a rider has safely removed Rhett from the back of the bull that it does. And when they call out his score of 91, I stand up and cheer. I do my loud whistle, except this time it blends in with the crowd's cheering. His eyes find me anyway, and I laugh, surrounded by the cheers of the people he thought he'd alienated. I hope he soaks this up. He deserves it. Somehow, though, he doesn't look as happy as he should. He stands in the ring, helmet in hand, staring at me like he has before, with a gaze that feels like it goes right through me, like he can see my patchwork heart right through my ribs. With everyone around me screaming his name and cheering for him, someone who's been theirs for over a decade now, he feels like mine, because he's staring at me. He doesn't feel like theirs when he looks at me like that. I wonder for a moment if he feels like I'm his, the one person in the crowd that he continues to seek out. Rhett's mouth twists in a wry grin, and he shakes his head, pulling the elastic out of his wild hair, looking so fucking good that it hurts. I watch him leave the ring, fringes of his chaps shaking, shoulders slumped, even though he has the buzz of the crowd firmly in hand. And I ask myself, if this were my last moment on earth, would I go happy? The answer is, I'd go full of regrets. I go knowing I've done everything in my power to make everyone else around me happy, but failed to deliver that same treatment to myself. I'm up and moving, saying, "Excuse me," repeatedly as I push past people's knees in my row of seating, feeling the connection between Rhett and me more sharply than ever. Like a tug at the center of my chest, yanking me toward them, like it's nature, and I'm helpless to deny the pull. I jog down the steps before striding as quickly as my short legs will carry me toward the staging area past the bull chute and down the alleyway that leads to the locker rooms. I flash my pass at the security guard with a brief, flat smile. He says something to me, but all I can hear is his healthy, even pounding of my heart in my chest. I catch sight of Rhett and almost smile before coming to a screeching halt. He's got one arm propped up on a metal fence panel, his cowboy hat back on his head. I can see the tips of his hair brushing against his back as he leans forward toward the woman in front of him. She's beautiful. And I recognize her face from the last rodeo. My stomach twists and my chest aches. This is exactly what I told him to do. He gave me a moment to tell him I wanted him to, and I told him I didn't. I told him to play this game with someone else. I should be happy he listened for once, but I'm devastated. I've never been oblivious to Rhett's reputation, but he's never lived up to it in front of me. My tongue tastes sour at the sight. I turn to walk away, not wanting to see any more than I already have, which is when I bump straight into a rock-hard chest and look up into the grinning face of Emmett Bush. "Where are you headed, darling?" he draws. I roll my lips together, weighing my options, taking stock of the warring emotions inside of me, and beating myself up for always being so goddamn responsible. So responsible I drove a guy I might actually like to that. Not sure. My night is wide open. Got any ideas? I ask, recklessness coursing through my veins. Emmett smiles wider and slings an arm around my shoulder. "Well, have I got the bar for us?" I stiffen under his arm and pull away slightly. He doesn't give me the same sense of home that Rhett does when his arms wrap around me. But maybe I don't need feelings. Maybe what I need is some fun. "Hey, Eaton," Emmett shouts, and I wince. "Grab your girl and let's hit the corral. Celebrate your old ass barely beating me tonight." He laughs and tugs me along with him, and I go, refusing to risk looking over my shoulder. I'm far too terrified of what I might see. Chapter 19, Rhett. "Kit, hell of a ride tonight, kid." Rhett, "Yep." "Kit, what's wrong?" Rhett, "Your daughter is what's wrong." Kit, "I don't even believe you. That girl is one of the best people I know, and I'm not just saying that because I'm her dad." Rhett, "Yeah, she is. That's the problem." I take an aggressive sip of the shitty beer in my hand before putting it back down on the table with far more force than I intended. You're going to break that thing, boss. Theo chuckles and takes a sip of his own, eyes alight with humor, while he sits across from me at the high-top table. Rather than replying to his goading, I roll the bottle between my hands, feeling more than hearing the clink of the glass against my silver rings over the country music blaring through this bar. Thought you'd be in a better mood after winning again. Would it kill you to give the rest of us a moment in the sun? You're young, Theo. Work harder. Earn it. Spur your bull more and hold on for dear life rather than taking the path of least resistance. Mediocre isn't good enough to win on this tour. I'm being harsh, but it's probably time for him to level up. If his old man were still around, he'd tell him the same thing. I remember him doing it with me. He rubbed my back until one day he shoved me into the deep end. Tough love. It works when someone is as competitive as I am, like a challenge to do better. Theo snorts, his head rearing back a little. He's playing it cool, but I can tell by the spark in his eyes that I've ticked him off a tad. Just the right amount to make him want to be better. Small increments all the time. I get a real kick out of watching him develop, and I love being there for him, even if I wish it were his dad instead of me. Try as I might to keep my eyes lasered on the brown bottle in my hands, they slip over to where I know Summer is sitting with that sleaze bag, Emmett. All I can see is her back, the taper of her waist where her brand new WBRF t-shirt is tucked into those tight as fuck jeans, cinched with some belt that has a colorful stitch pattern on it. The way they hug her hips, where her body flares out, is distracting beyond comparison. His stool is too close to hers, and he leans close to say something to her, while laughing and shit. All happy-go-lucky golden boy, while I'm sitting over here brooding like a Neanderthal. Do you think hooking up with Cindy is a bad idea? Theo pulls my attention back to him with a complete subject change. I don't know. Why would it be a bad idea? She likes you. That's why she pulled me aside, to find out if I knew what you were up to tonight. Like I'm some fucking schoolgirl who wants to gossip about relationship status. I shake my head and take another swig of my beer. During past seasons, if I felt like celebrating after a good ride, I'd roll out of the ring and snag myself a bunny. But the appeal has slowly but surely worn off, and the girls keep getting younger. Too young. Or I keep getting older. I guess that's more likely. Because she's a buckle bunny, man. She's been with other guys on the tour, too. When do you become a virgin again? When did you become a virgin again, Theo? Pretty sure I saw you balls deep in one of her friends when I walked into the locker room once. He laughs loudly now. Forgot about that. But do you like her? He bobs his head back and forth with a shy smile. Yeah, I guess I do. So who cares? Maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't. Just don't be a pig about it. Be upfront. Buckle bunnies have feelings too. I wink at him. Dating advice from the fabulous ladies' man, Rhett Eaton. He holds his beer bottle up to me and cheers, and I ignore it, opting to take another swig. I'm not so sure my past behavior is to be celebrated. I sneak a peek over at Summer again. I can't keep my eyes or mind from wandering to her. If she leaves with Emmett, I might combust. He slings his arm over the back of her chair like he has a right to. Speaking of girls, Theo waggles his eyebrows and points his chin over at Summer. What? I bite out. My babysitter? I wouldn't judge. Fucking the babysitter is a thing for a reason. I thought I told you not to be a pig. I have to remind myself he's only 22 and walking around with a constant before I bite his head off. Whatever, man. Just saying, you can't take your eyes off her. It's almost like you're jealous. I resolve, right here and now, to not look over there again. Of Emmett Bush? I snort. That'll be the day. I'll start highlighting my hair and going for facials to get his Ken doll glow just so I can be more like him. You definitely don't sound jealous at all, Theo mocks. I take another aggravated swig. Good, because I'm not. I can see why you would be, though. She looks damn good on that bull. What? I whip around so fast that I knock my bottle in the process, righting it just before it creates more than a small puddle of beer on the table. But when I glance back up, sure enough, Summer has climbed onto the mechanical bull. It's surrounded by foam mats, and a crowd has gathered around the low barrier around the circle. Her small hand is wrapped around the grip, and her pale jeans are so tight that I can see the fold where her thigh meets her hip. She's grinning widely, and when she looks at Emmett, her top teeth dig into her bottom lip. Those fucking lips. She gives a small nod and giggles as she does it, looking so carefree, so young. So much happier than she usually does in my company. The guy operating the machine starts it up and her hips rock with the motion. I have to look away. My brain is fried and I want to throw her over my shoulder and carry her out of here. Put my mark on her. It's unlike anything I've ever felt, but she doesn't want that. She doesn't need that. And I keep reminding myself to be a gentleman. I told Theo not to be a pig, and I need to make sure I'm not being one either. I swivel my foot to face Theo and chug the rest of my beer before waving at the server to bring me another. I need it. Hey guys, Cindy walks up looking at Theo like he's a cake and it's her birthday. How's it going? Great, Theo smiles and pats the stool beside himself. I don't say anything. The pheromones between them do nothing but annoy me. I wish the only thing keeping Summer and me apart was that we were both too stupid to just talk to each other. Instead, she has to be all smart and responsible and career-driven, making us a problem when in any other setting we'd be a no-brainer. Your girl can ride, Rhett, Cindy says, nodding over at Summer. Of course she can. She's strong. That she can sit on a mechanical bull better than the average person doesn't surprise me one bit. I've watched her work out, watched that ass clench in her tights. I've watched sweat trickle down between her tits, her lips parted as she pants from a rough session. I chance a glance over my shoulder because I'm a seriously weak son of a bitch where Summer Hamilton is concerned. Sure enough, she's looking damn fine up there. Arm up, chin down, shoulders back. But it's not good for business when someone lasts too long, and I turn away just as the operator jerks her in the other direction, forcing her to lose her seat. She's not my girl. I hear the cheers for her, knowing that she probably finally took her tumble. I hope she's okay. Theo rolls his eyes, but as he takes in the scene behind me, they go wide. You're right, Cindy agrees with a nod. It looks like she might be Emmett's. This time I stand straight up, catching sight of Summer as she pulls Emmett's cowboy hat off and plunks it on her head as they head over to the bar across the room, and that's it. I'm striding across the bar, getting to her as fast as I can. It feels like it takes forever, but it has to have been under 8 seconds. Summer is tucking a shot into her cleavage when I get to her and knock that fucking hat right off her head. What the? She stops talking when she catches sight of me. What's wrong? She looks genuinely confused, like she truly has no goddamn idea how crazy she drives me. How badly I want her. Hey man, Emmett slithers up like the fucking snake he is. You know the rules. Yeah, I do, but she doesn't. Keep your fucking hat to yourself. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Summer removes the shot glass from her cleavage and holds that hand up to stop us. What rules? Don't worry about it, doll. Let's do the body shot. Emmett tries to redirect the conversation, edging his body in front of mine to block me out. But my limbs are longer, and I reach around him and steal the shot right out of Summer's hand. Not a fucking chance. Emmett turns to glare at me, all that polite, sunny farm boy bullshit persona melting right off him. Beat it, Eaton. Did you not hear me, Bush? I said not a fucking chance. I know your games. Play them somewhere else. Breathe on this girl the wrong way, and I'll end you right here, rather than just kicking your ass in the ring. His watery blue eyes narrow as he glares at me, jaw dropping, shoulders drawn tight. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that he wants to hit me right now. I wish he would, so I could stomp on his stupid, shiny, predatory face. It's Summer who steps up now, that sexy smirk plastered on her full lips as she raises a hand to point at me. I know she's trying to defuse the situation, to keep me out of trouble, which is why I'm so surprised when she says, okay, then you're doing the shot. She doesn't drop my gaze as she steps in front of Emmett. He's behind her and the packed bar is beside us, but all I see is her. Eyes twinkling, cheeks pink with exertion, dark hair loose and wild around her shoulders. Summer puffs out her chest in my direction and my eyes drop to the swells of her breast, the line of cleavage, and the vertical scar that traces up the center. Put it in. I groan. She nibbles on her lip, aware of what she's just said, so I step closer, holding myself back from running my hands all over her, and lift the slender glass. Slowly I press it between her soft breasts, trailing the pad of my ring finger over the rounded top of her flesh before tracing the line that goes up her entire chest. The scar that she doesn't bother covering up because she's so fucking strong. So brave. I touch the raised skin, but not caring how personal it feels, so to be doing this in public. Goosebumps erupt over her chest, and even over the blaring music, I can hear her quiet gasp. I feel the way her breath slides across my face. It's fucking distracting. Her hand darts out, and she holds up a can of whipping cream with a challenging glint in her eye. We've been dancing around each other awkwardly since that day at the fence. We barely talked, but now she's looking at me like she wants to do an awful lot more than talk. In the mood for some dairy products, Rhett? She shakes the can, and before I can stop her, she sprays a line of it from the shot glass wedged between her tits, right over the length of the scar. It's fucking pornographic. Or maybe it's just been a while for me. Either way, I want to get the hell out of here so I can bend her over and spank her perfect ass for putting Emmett's hat on. Okay. She stares up at me, whipped cream trailing up the middle of her chest, ending where her pronounced collarbones dip down and meet the soft spot at the base of her throat. Or is that going to be too milky for you? I drop my head in her direction, blocking some of the onlookers out with the brim of my own hat. You want me to lick whipped cream off you, princess? Her tongue darts out, wetting her bottom lip as her eyes peruse my body in the hungriest way. Yeah, I think I do. I don't need her to ask twice. I crouch low, pressing my tongue to her bare skin as her hands mold to my shoulders. My mouth slides over her sternum, and I don't bother being polite about it either. I drag my teeth, and when I get to that soft dip, I suck at her skin before I press a gentle kiss against her. Her fingers grasp my shirt, and her eyes are laser focused on me when I spare a glance up at her face. I give her my best cocky, panty melting smirk and dive back down between her breasts. One of her hands slides over the back of my neck, her fingers raking through my hair before taking hold. My lips wrap around the shot glass of something syrupy and sweet, something I would never normally drink, but if Summer wants me to lick it off every square inch of her delectable body, I will happily spend hours obliging. I stand tall and wrap an arm around her waist, hugging her against me as I tip my head back and down the shot. I can feel her heart pounding against my ribs. She fits right under my arm like that spot was meant for her. Okay, my turn. Emmett tries to step in, but I turn Summer away under the shelter of my arm. The thought of letting her go now is almost unbearable. To him, to anyone. Turn? This isn't bowling, asshole. I already told you, not a fucking chance. I hear him try to say something to Summer, but I've got her by the wrist and have a clear shot to the door. We're getting the fuck out of here. Chapter 20, Summer. Dad, Summer, what did you do to that poor boy? Summer, I don't know what you're talking about, but I do wish everyone would stop talking about a man in his 30s like he's a child or a dog. Dad, okay, you're defensive too, got it. Summer, I'm not being defensive, I'm just pointing something out. Dad, defensively. Where the hell do you think you're taking me? I asked right as we clear the doors into the cool night air. Cool air that I desperately need after Rhett Eaton just set my entire body on fire. I'm mad at him. I'm hot for him. And those two things blend until they're almost indecipherable. Rhett's breath puffs out in front of him as we face off, away from Emmett, before he tells you about the cowboy hat rule. I scuff. What the hell is the cowboy hat rule? You wear the hat, you ride the cowboy. My eyes bulge in their sockets. What? You heard me. You want to take Emmett for a ride, Summer? His voice is pure venom, and I lurch back, not recognizing this tone on him. What if I do? I'm not backing down just because Rhett's going all caveman on me. Seems an awful lot like none of your business, seeing as how the minute you had a chance, you were all over some blonde buckle bunny. I go to hold up a hand between us, the one still holding the stupid whipped cream, and close my eyes. You know what? It doesn't even matter. For a minute there, I had a major lapse of judgment and just forget about it. Spinning on my heel, I turn and storm toward the crosswalk, relieved that our hotel is across the street. I jam my finger at the button, willing the light to change as quickly as possible so I can get the hell away from Rhett before I tumble right into the deep well of poor decision-making that I'm staring down into. I feel him come to stand beside me, but he says nothing. We walk in tense silence. The chirping sound of the walk signal is our only companion as the thumping music from the bar fades. My fingers wrap tightly around the whipped cream can, and I envision it being Rhett's neck for a moment. But truthfully, that just makes my palms sweat. Why does he have to be the first guy since Rob who gives me butterflies in the chest, and not the same kind I got as a horned-up teenager staring at pictures of him? These butterflies almost hurt. They feel like they're withering beneath my skin, taking over my stomach, impeding my vision. Because all I can see is Rhett, on the back of my eyelids when I sleep, and with me all the fucking time when I'm not asleep. It's like he's become an extension of me, a necessary part of my personal ecosystem. Infatuation by proximity. It's like I never even had a shot. We walk into the hotel, him just a step or two behind me. We don't look at each other, we don't talk, but the most intense sense of anticipation grows in my chest. Expanding, pressing, aching. I want it to stop and carry on forever all at once. I want to peek at him, but I think if I do, the reality of what we're about to do might scare me out of whatever trance I'm in, whatever sense of resolve I've come to. We wait at the bank of elevators with one other person, and when we step into the space, Rhett and I take opposite walls. I cross my arms under my breasts, the cool metal can pressing against my ribs and seeping through my shirt while I stare at him across from me. The other man takes the space in the middle. He looks tired, ready for bed, not nearly as amped up as Rhett does. Rhett looks like a down power line sparked in the dark, and I think I'm about to pick that line up and let the electricity course through me. When the man realizes he's standing in the middle of two people eyeing each other like they might set one another on fire with the power of their sight alone, he straightens up. I catch him peeking at us, head swiveling as he peers at each of us. When we reach his floor, the elevator dings, and I swear he shakes his head as he gets out, like he knows there will be some sort of brawl between us. When the door slides shut behind him, my body tingles, the tips of my fingers up in my inner arm into the dip behind my elbow before shooting straight into an ache beneath my bra straps. Rhett stares at me like no man has before in my life, and for all the times I couldn't decipher his look and thought he was glaring at me with irritation or frustration or distaste, I realized I was wrong. He's staring at me like he wants me, really wants me, like he aches for me, like he might melt just for me. My breathing quickens, eyes scouring his features, heavy brows, straight nose, deep, warm eyes, all that scruff. God knows I've stared at him over the years, and he just keeps getting better. Firm, broad shoulders, narrow waist, and long, lean muscles. When the elevator dings, I startle and swallow hard, watching his Adam's apple bob in a similar fashion as he holds a hand out to gesture that I go first. My lips press together, but I exit, mind whirling with what to do next. I should go to my room. I should go to his room. I should take a freezing fucking shower. I should run straight down this hallway and jump through the window like James Bond, getting away from a supervillain, because no matter what I do, this is going to end poorly. I just know it. Brett Eaton will ruin me if I give him the opportunity, and I don't even know what to do with that. I think I might want him to ruin me. As we walk toward our side-by-side rooms, I focus on breathing. I'm so hyper-aware of his presence, I might forget to breathe if I don't actively remind myself to do it. When I finally reach my door, I place one palm flat against it to hold myself up as I wait for him to walk past me. This is hands down the most out-of-control, confounding feeling in the world. I want to stare at him all night long, and I want to squeeze my eyes shut and never look at him again. Rhett, Go to bed, Summer. I snap back, surprised by what he's saying. Go to bed? Yes, before I do something distinctively ungentlemanlike to you. My brows shoot up, taken aback by his directness. Like what? My voice comes out quiet and uncertain. Our slightly hostile banter is my comfort zone, but alone with a man like Rhett Eaton, looking at me the way he is, well, it's way the hell and gone out of my wheelhouse. Sex with Rob was rushed and unsatisfying. The friends with benefits situations I had during law school ended with unrequited attachments. And that one night stand I had was just bad. I don't know where the hell that leaves me with Rhett. I don't know what I want from him, but I know I don't want to go to bed. Not alone, anyway. A muscle in his neck jumps and he crosses his arms, shirt bunching around his biceps. I'd start with those pretty fucking lips. My lashes flutter and a whimper stalls out in my throat, so I try to work out how I should respond to that. I opt to take the bull by the horns. With one step forward, my hand darts out, and I yank the saddle brown cowboy hat off his head and place it on mine. His leather and licorice scent rushes in around me, and I sigh. I'd like to bottle that if I could. Sweet and earthy and so damn masculine all at once. He growls when I step away, wearing his hat, and push my back against the flat wall between our rooms, letting a small smirk play on my lips, reveling in the way his eyes heat when I do. With 2 steps, he's towering over me. My head tips back to take in all his agitated glory. You know what I'm sick of, Summer? His hand comes to my throat, fluttering over the skin so gently that I arch toward him to increase the pressure. What's that? Having you think I'm out fucking everything that moves when I've looked at nothing and no one since the first day I laid eyes on you. I stepped into that godforsaken boardroom and you practically demanded I become obsessed with you. I gasped for air, rendered speechless. His finger pads stroked my neck with such tenderness that I blink up at him, more emotional than I'd banked on. Do you know what else I'm fucking sick of? What? My question is a breath, a whisper, a plea. His hand moves up and his thumb pushes down firmly on my chin, gently forcing my mouth wide open. There's something crude about it, but the way he's looking at me as he does, it has me trembling with anticipation. Wow. Having to spend all day, every day with you in this smart mouth. His spare hand yanks the can of whipping cream from my sweaty grip. He holds it up, hitting me with the most sinful grin, and not being able to use it the way I want to. His voice is husky, but I barely have time to register it because the whoosh of the pressurized cream filling my mouth permeates the air between us. When he stops, he presses my chin back, closing my mouth. How does that taste, princess? Is all I can manage as my taste buds dance with the creamy sweetness while every nerve ending dances with scorching electricity. Good girl. Your wish that... Oh, wow. Okay, I'm not going to read that. Okay. Sharp anticipation races through my veins, and I make this desperate little moaning sound as I swallow for him. Are we done playing games now? His voice is heavy, full of promise, raising the hair on my arms. I nod, nervously licking at my lips and unable to drop his gaze. Good. His thumb strokes the sensitive spot beneath my ear as he grips the back of my neck. Now, tell me honestly, Summer, if this were your last moment on Earth, what would you want me to do? I don't even need to think about it. I know what I want from him. Ruin me. Good. I'm about fucking done being a gentleman with you, and the only thing I'm ruining you for is anyone else. He swipes the key card and shoves us through the door, and it looks like I'm going to his room after all. Wow. Okay. There's going to be, like I said, some things I'm not going to read out loud because it's social media, and I don't want the whole world hearing me say these things and recording it. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird. So yeah. We're more than halfway through, and we left off on chapter 21, Rhett. So, this is the spicy part, also known as the good part. Why you read it, right? Why you pick up a book like this. You want the spiciness. I also want to show you guys the next book we're going to be reading. We're going to be reading Phantasma. It's a bestseller. It's by Kaylee Smith. I'll link it down below. It's a long read. It's 494 pages with the author's note at the end. But yeah, we're going to read this one. It's the first of the series. I think there's 2 or 3. And it says, the only thing deadlier than losing the game is losing your heart. So yeah, this is definitely one I've never read before. It's a new one. And I'm excited about it because the reviews on it are substantial. Really, really good. It looks amazing, and I'm really excited to go on that journey with you guys. But I'll make a separate video going over this a little bit more before we read it. But this is our next book. Okay, guys? We're still on this one, and I'm super excited about it. And I can kind of tell what's going to happen in the end. We already know, right? But it's the details in between that are fun. But I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.